Hi, my name is Tope Oshin. I'm a film and TV director and producer, and we just finished the panel on women in film. It was me, Sarah Blecher from South Africa, and Jade Oshiberu, also from Nigeria, the director of Isoken. So basically we touched on what it's been like and how it is being a female director in Nigeria, in Africa, in a male-dominated profession. How we got there, what our challenges have been with the films we've made. We also talked about passion driving the films that we've made and the projects that we've made. Sarah and I basically talked about how you as a filmmaker have the opportunity to say what you want to say with your films, which pretty much all three of us have done, which I think is what's most important about being a filmmaker. Using when you have the microphone, which is when you're making your film, when you have a microphone, say exactly what you want to say, preach the message you want to preach, say what you want the world to receive from you, what you want the world to feel. That's what we do with our films. Jade talked about how she made her film Isoken, how she had to raise funds over 2 years, another 1 year to find money to market and to do the PR and distribution and all of that. And Sarah also talked about the need for women in film to come together in Africa, and talked about her body, her organization called Sisters Working in Film and Television in South Africa, which is becoming a Pan-African brand. The crux of the entire discussion really for female filmmakers who are upcoming is, if you have a passion, if you have a drive, if you want to make films, go ahead and do it. Don't wait for permission from any man. Don't feel like only men are doing it, so you're not going to be allowed. Because, I always say there's nothing like male or female success. They're just people who do things and people who things happen to. They're people who make things happen and people who things happen to. So you can choose to be on either side of the divide. If you have a story to tell, go ahead and tell it. Don't ask for permission from anyone. Learn how it's done and do it properly. That is all that is required of you. So by all means, follow along the lines of your passion. Follow your dreams. Make the films you want to make. Tell the stories you want to tell with all boldness and without fear. And at every given point in time, wherever you are, there's always more to be. There's always a higher level to go. There is no zenith in life. There is no arrival, so to speak. Wherever you are, there's always something bigger to be and something bigger to become. That's pretty much where I'll round up everything. So whoever you are, male or female, filmmaker or doctor or lawyer or poet, whatever your chosen profession is in life, or your dream or passion or what you want to be or what you are doing, know that you can be more. Know that you need to follow your passion. That is the only way that you're going to have a voice in the world. Only if you're following your passion and being true to your true self. Starting out as a filmmaker, starting out wanting to be a director, the earliest challenges I faced as a woman was due to the fact that there weren't a lot of women in filmmaking at the time. There weren't a lot of female directors. The one person that I had to look up to then was Amaka Igwe, and she was pretty much the one who got me thinking along the lines of being a director. But I still felt that she wasn't a worthy mentor for me because she was larger than life. We didn't think of her in terms of gender. She was big, she was huge, so even men didn't remember that she was a woman. So for me, she wasn't someone to look up to in that sense, like I want to be like her, because I didn't think that I looked like her or was like her in any way, if you know what I mean. So I really didn't have that person to draw that kind of strength from, that she's doing it, she's like me, I can do it too. So it pretty much was from my own experimental and bored mind, because I was at that point where I was bored with life, and I just wanted to believe that I could do more with my brain. I could push myself a bit further. So it started with me sitting in my own bedroom, my own room, and reading and studying filmmaking books myself, reading up, studying films, and doing all of that. So by the time I got out and started trying to make the bold announcement that, I want to be a director, men laughed, because they felt, is it because you are bored, or are you not getting acting roles again? you know, why are you wanting to be a director? They laughed at me because it wasn't what women wanted to do at the time. But I stuck with it, and I was stubborn because I'd fallen in love with it, with telling my own stories, and I felt no matter what, I'm just going to do my thing. And I think that's what brought me here. 10 years later, I'm strong, you know, firmly placed in the industry. I'm telling my own stories. There are now countless women who are now directors who are doing the same thing, you know. So my greatest challenge I did not let overwhelm me, which was that people laughed at the thought that a woman would want to be a director or tell people what to do, and a young woman at that, you know. But I didn't let that deter me, and I kept on. So my drive and my persistence is what broke through the doors, you know, put in place by the norms of the society. I think it's important for women to be represented in every industry, not just the film industry, because we are women, we are human beings. Human beings are male and female. So, you know, I don't believe that there are any careers that are made for men, for one particular kind of human being. So as many careers as there are in the world, in as much as we have two sexes, which is male and female, we should have good representation of both sexes in those roles. What is holding us back is when we have mentally assigned gender roles to ourselves and say, oh, women don't do that, only men do that. We need to get out of that mindset and know that you can do anything you want to do. You can do anything you're passionate about. If you're passionate about filmmaking, get up and do it. Nobody is saying that a woman cannot be a director, a woman cannot be a cinematographer, or a woman cannot be a sound technician. You know, if you feel that you have a passion along those lines, go ahead and chase it. Or if you're just the person who just is in love with filmmaking in general, look for any one of those roles that we have less representation of women and fill it. For instance, we don't have a lot of lighting technicians that are women, sound technicians, cinematography, we don't have a lot of women there as well. Those are good places where women looking for careers in filmmaking can plug themselves into, and they would be instant successes, you know, because we don't have a lot of women in there. Women are known to pay particular attention to detail, which means that if they're so serious and commit themselves to it, they would be successful in doing those things.